The new daily half-hour true crime series, Crime Exposé, premiered recently, and it's already a big hit. We're happy to have host Nancy O'Dell to share more about the show. Nancy, many people know you from Entertainment Tonight, but you started your career as a crime reporter, right? What made you want to go back to this?
I did. It's kind of a full circle moment. Started in Charleston, South Carolina, and then in Miami, Florida, where I did the police beat and investigative reporting. And I always thought it was something that I would eventually go back to. It's something that I thoroughly enjoyed. I found it fascinating how detectives and cops did the work and to determine, especially something as serious as a murder, to figure out who actually was the perpetrator. I always thought that was just beyond fascinating. Thought I was a police woman for a while because in Charleston they would let me go along with their, their rides and their drug busts, and it was just their work was very interesting to me. And now is the right time, I think. True crime is probably the most popular genre out there right now. A lot of the same audience that we had for Entertainment Tonight and Access Hollywood is also the audience for true crime. So because I have the background in true crime and I have that same audience that is a wonderful, loyal audience, hopefully they will follow to see me doing a different thing that I really enjoy doing. And they're gonna love the twists and turns that this series takes you in. It's great storytelling. We have tremendous producers, and you do get the resolve at the end, and you get it in a half an hour series that's going to be airing daily. So it's the first time true crime has been done in that way, a daily show in syndication.
Very exciting. Why do you think there's such a big demand for true crime content?
Well, I think the fascination with it is the storytelling and the fact that these things actually happen and the fact that they happen in real life. Because sometimes you're really shocked that these things could take place and you can't believe what the world has come to sometimes. And to see the police and detectives and how they figure it all out, it's like watching some scripted show, but yet it's not, it's real life. And then one thing that I love about this show is that at the end, and research shows that a lot of people watch these true crime shows because they want to learn how not to become a victim. So we take that one step further in our show, and at the very end of the show, based on the story that we've just told you about, the murder that has just happened, what could you possibly do, some tips to take away to prevent something like that happening to you? And for example, we have a realtor who was just doing a job and had to take a complete stranger into a house to show the house because that's what she does for work, and wound up being kidnapped and then murdered. Is there something that you can do to protect yourself? If you have that kind of job, if you have a job where you have to interact with complete strangers, be a realtor or somebody else, and we do give some incredible takeaways there that will help people learn and hopefully prevent some of these things from happening in the future.
I love that. And that was my next question, the safety spotlight. It's such valuable information. How did the idea come about?
It was actually one of our partners, Michael Eisner, who had suggested that, and he's such a smart man, having done so many things with Disney, and he thought it would be a great thing. And then we were all like, that is so true, because you do watch these things, and you do want to learn something from them, and you realize that a lot of the crimes are not crimes that are they're shocking, but they're not so unusual that you could see it happening in your hometown. You could see it happening because sometimes they're crimes of circumstance. And it's little things that we could tell you. I mean, like, I think we had one example of a lady who was sitting in a car waiting for her daughter to come out of a practice. And how many times do all of us do that? I mean, I do it all the time, right? So what could you be doing to be aware of your surroundings or to prevent possibly there wound up being a carjacking that took place in this episode? And what could you do to possibly prevent that from happening to you? But I think that we see ourselves in this series of things that, maybe could happen to us, and what can we do to protect ourselves? And hopefully we do give some tips away that will prevent it from happening to somebody else.
Absolutely. Nancy, best of luck with the show, and thank you so much for spending some time with me.
Thanks so much for having me. I appreciate it.